Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Crow Island Farms in the Woods. My name is Chef D, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make venison osso buco. We got a nice mule deer shank that we harvested off our property. I'm at the cabin with my old man. This is a perfect dish, slow braise. You can sit around the fire, relax, have good conversations. Low prep. I like to prep everything at home so it's ready for me when I go in the woods. And yeah, sit around the fire and make some good food, and let's get cooking. Let's talk ingredients in cooking. So I got a cast iron pot right here, a nice Dutch oven. I like to have all my fire stoked on one side of the fire pit. I drag all the coals underneath it to try to control the temperature to the best of my abilities. Remember, these things stay really hot because of that cast iron, so we want to make sure that we don't reduce the liquid too much and burn anything on the bottom. So we really got to keep an eye on it and just make sure the temperature doesn't get too hot. I got a beautiful mule deer shank that we harvested from the property. I seasoned it with some Italian seasoning, some salt and pepper. I like to do it 12 to 24 hours in advance. The salt starts penetrating the meat for flavor, as well as starts tenderizing the shank, because the shank is a very tough cut and very underrated. Has some of the most flavor in all the venison, I think. I got some dredging flour, all-purpose flour with some salt and pepper, and that is going to make a nice crust on the venison shank, as well as build fond in our pot. We got 1 cup of red table wine. Cab Sauv red table wine I think works the best for this dish for flavor. We'll be using that to deglaze our fond in there to bring out all that flavor and add more flavor into our dish. I got beef stock, 1 quart that we made in our first tutorial. I also got some homemade tomato sauce that we made in our last tutorial, 2 cups worth. For vegetables, I got nice cooked pearl onions. I blanched them, shocked them. I got some rough cut shallots right here, fresh bay. For aromatics, I got some fresh thyme, rosemary, sage, and then I got whole garlic, which I love being stewed in this, and I'll just cut it up and eat it. You can also chop to get the flavor a little bit more dispersed, but I love it this way. Nice big cut carrots and celery, and you want to keep them 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch slicing on it, and that'll help make it so it doesn't break down while it cooks for 4 to 6 hours depending on the size of your shank. You'll get all that wonderful mouthfeel and hearty vegetables in your dish. So first we're going to start with our oil. Going to do it pretty generously and let it heat up for a second. Now we're going to dredge our venison shank nice and evenly, get all that flour coating on her. Shake off any excess. We're gonna set that right in a pot. You're gonna let it go for about 4 minutes on each side. Try to get that nice golden brown, push it down really good. That way all the protein connects. All right, when your venison shank's all browned evenly on all sides, we're gonna take it out and reserve it. So now we're gonna add all of our vegetables and our aromatics in there. You can see a little bit of fond building up in there. I like to put my aromatics in there. That way they start toasting and releasing a little bit more flavor. All right, when the onions start turning a little bit more translucent, everything's getting nice and toasty. You got a little bit of color coming on the vegetables. Red wine. Scrape any fond off the bottom. And we'll add our homemade tomato sauce. We're gonna add our beef stock. And we're gonna add our toasted shank, or our seared shank. We want the liquid to come about halfway up the protein for braising. That way all the liquid goes goes out and then back in, and that's what keeps it nice and moisture and starts nice and moist and starts tenderizing. Now, cover her up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got our shank braising off. I believe that shank is about 2 pounds. It should take about 4.5 hours. Depending on the size of the shank, it's gonna take anywhere 4 to 6 hours for it to braise fully. My little sous chef here helping me out. I'm gonna go shoot some guns with the old man and wait for a wonderful dinner, and we'll show you the final product. So we just want a nice simmer. You don't want a raging boil. It's going pretty good. I'm gonna take a little bit of fire out from underneath it. Rotate this guy around a little bit here and there. So this is about an hour in. Now, if your liquid starts reducing a little fast because of the heat, we can always add some water in that. We want to keep the liquid level good. Halfway up, and then start reducing in the final hour. Oh, it's looking good. So I'm going to add just a touch of water into this, just to keep that level good. There we go. Take our tongs and make sure it gets all nice and sturdy and good. Woo! And does that look good? All right, so opened up the Dutch oven. You can see I got my little bit of coals over there with the fire stoking over there. You can see the meat pulling for the bone, everything's thickening up nice. I added about 2 cups of water over the last 2 hours. You can add stock or water. Stock is preferable, but all I have is water. But this is what you want, everything to start pulling away from the bone. I got about another 2 hours to go. Gonna keep rotating that shank, and it is gonna be delicious. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us at Crow Island Farms in the woods. We got venison Osso Buco, only took 3.5 hours with our shank. We got some fresh pasta, sauteed with a little bit of scallions, butter, and olive oil, some garlic bread. I'm gonna sit down and have a wonderful dinner with my old man. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening and a wonderful dinner, and thank you for joining us again. Bon appetit.